So the question is, we are wondering how and when to pay ourselves, what is a good structure to have, and what systems should be in place to grow our business, but also to put food on the table at home.
Okay, great question. Big mistake that most small business owners make is that when they start their business, they're obsessed with making every penny count in terms of see a patient, bank money, spend money, and it goes on rent, it goes on food, it goes on, obviously creating the life that you deserve after you've been through school and you've racked up 100k in debt or whatever it has been to get you to where you want to be. But something happens at the beginning which I would give this piece of advice to a small business owner just getting started. In the beginning, you don't really have the aspiration to grow and build this huge company. You're just so obsessed with getting, for example, 20 or 30 patients a week into your practice, and building a business isn't really on the agenda. You're a small practitioner in the beginning, happy to take home $5 a month, $10 a month, or whatever it will be. But what starts to happen is you get obsessed with the dollars. So the effort that you're putting in, you kind of feel as though you want that money out and you want to be able to spend it on your family, and that's completely fine. But what happens, and I've seen this happen and it happened to myself, is that you get to a point after about 5 years where you don't want to be the guy who works 20, 30, 40, 50 patients a week and is in there 50, 60 hours. You want to actually own a business. So there's a difference between being a solo practitioner and even having a one-person staff. That's not a business, okay? That is just you have a job. A business owner is somebody who makes the same amount of money whether they're there or they're not, okay? So it's a big differentiation. But usually what happens is in the physical therapy industry, people build and build and build, and they get to 50, 60 patients a week, making a nice income, but working very hard for it. And the day comes where literally most people wake up and they're like, I want to make the same money, but I don't want to have to do this amount of work to do it. So I want to start to employ people. Again, completely fine, the journey that most business owners in our industry will take. I took that myself. But then what happens is, because life has got in the way, and we've got the mortgage, we've got the kids, we've got the dog, you've got the car, you've got the lifestyle, you've got the hotels, the 5-star accommodation, etc., that you have been able to afford because you've been earning good money as a solo practitioner. Now, what gets in the way of growth is when the practitioner doesn't want to take that cut that invariably has to happen, because we can't get money off the banks, that easy. We don't get angel investors. We don't get people buying into our practices as easily. So where do we find the money for growth? To be able to bring new staff in to replace ourselves, for marketing, to train, to maybe move to new premises, to build bigger and better systems within that practice. It usually comes from the owner having to take a cut. Not something that a lot of people want to do. To put this into context, I took a 6-figure pay cut for 2 years. 6-figure pay cut for 2 years when I got to the point where I realized that I didn't have any more time in my life, and I wanted to still be able to make the same money in my business, but not have to be there all the time. As I speak to you now, I'm in Phoenix right now. I have a business that runs and works without me with 14 staff. And people look at it and think that it's a great business, and it is. But what I had to do to get it to that point was to be able to find the money and create the time to be able to put systems in place to be able to grow that business. And I found that money by taking a cut. Okay, I took a pretty big pay cut, and I used the same money to be able to bring in more staff, to be able to buy better software, to be able to invest in my marketing and business education. And that's something that I think a lot of business owners don't want to do. And they never face up to it, and they will agonize over that decision for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before it gets so painful that then they just do it, okay? So my message is, if there is a way, a mathematical way that I can help you, round about 20% of your income should be put towards other things. Don't, wherever you are right now, if you're taking home 5k a month, put 20% of that towards investing in a bigger, better business, because you might be kidding yourself right now that you don't want a business and you're happy to spend time in the treatment room seeing all the patients because you think it's wonderful and your ego's in play and you really enjoy working with patients. That's fine, but everybody wakes up one day thinking, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, and that's the problem that you get. Round about 5 to 10 years in, you're stuck because you've trapped yourself in a financial or a certain way of living, and you're not able to come down and take that pay cut of $1,000 or $2,000 a month to be able to hire somebody in or hire time, or just free up some time and say no to patients for a day or two so that you can build systems in your business. So around about 20% of your income should go towards stuff that is learning, is new. Be prepared for things to go wrong, to make mistakes, to be put out there for marketing that doesn't work, and be happy that that's happened, because it's progress. And if you're always living just beneath whatever you're taking, it will be a lot easier that day when you are wanting to employ staff, or you are wanting to move into more automated marketing systems for which you will need money for. If you're constantly seeing Mr. and Mrs. Smith 8 to 10 hours a day, you're making good money, that's great. But there is no room to grow there, and unfortunately you've got to come down more often than not before you come back up. So I hope that answers the question. set your stall out wherever you are in business right now to the fact that you will have to take either a huge bank loan to bring people in, or take a pay cut, whichever one you sit most comfortably with. I sat in the camp of being able to take a big pay cut. I kept what I needed. I put my ego aside. I didn't buy big houses. I didn't buy stuff that I didn't particularly need at that time, because I had one eye on building a business, a real business that would fuel a lifestyle for me, that would allow me to save, make the same level of money, whether I'm in that country, whether I'm in that clinic, or whether I'm not.
Thanks for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, and if you now find yourself thinking, I wonder what else this person can help me with, head over to paulgough.com/books, where you can find my best-selling books, which will show you how to add more profit to your practice. Or send an email to paul@paulgough.com to ask about how we can help you accelerate the growth and profitability of your clinic. And by the way, if you know anybody who would find this helpful, please share this video out. Thanks so much.